Hi there. Welcome back to my channel. And if you are a regular subscriber, hi, welcome. And if you're not, then stick around. A lot of the stuff that I talk to is a little bit left of mainstream. And I feel like you'll find some things for yourself that you can take into your relationships and maybe your future. So today we're diving into a fascinating topic that can help you better understand yourself and your relationships better. We're going to talk about attachment types, the pros and the cons of each, and how to use this knowledge to improve your relationships. But first, why should you care about attachment types? Well, think about it. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to be clingy while others are more independent? Or why you might feel anxious or distant in certain relationships? Understanding attachment types can provide answers to these questions and help you build healthier, more fulfilling relationships. So, if that's something that's interesting to you, let's get started. So, what are attachment types? Attachment types are patterns of emotional and behavioral responses that we develop early in life, often based on our interactions with caregivers. These patterns influence how we connect with others, express our needs, and handle conflict in relationships. There are typically four types of attachment: one, secure; two, anxious preoccupied; three, dismissive avoidant; and four, fearful avoidant. Now, the pros and cons of each attachment type. And of course, there's pros and cons to everything, including secure. Most people want to aim for secure and think it's the ultimate perfection, but there's still shortcomings that come with aiming for that attachment style. So, securely attached individuals tend to have trusting, satisfying, and lasting relationships. They're comfortable with intimacy and can effectively communicate their needs. Now, the cons here is they may face challenges when dealing with partners who have different attachment styles, as they can sometimes struggle to understand the needs of more anxious or avoidant individuals. The anxious preoccupied attachment, the pros here is these individuals are usually very emotionally attuned to their partners and can provide strong emotional support. The cons is they may become overly dependent on their partners for validation and help, leading to relationship tension. Anxiety and insecurity can also be common. The dismissive avoidant attachment, the pros here is they tend to be self sufficient and independent, which can be a strength in certain situations. The cons here is they may struggle with emotional intimacy and might appear emotionally distant or aloof in relationships. Avoiding vulnerability can hinder deep connections with this type. Fearful avoidant attachment. The pros here is they can be highly self aware and introspective, making it easier for them to work on their attachment issues. The cons is the fearful avoidant individual often has a tumultuous relationship history due to their inner conflicts. They might alternate between wanting closeness and pushing people away. So that's the real basics in attachment types. And there's plenty of books that you can find. Just Google attachment types. There's so many books. The book that really helped me was a book by Jeb Kinnison, and he spoke to the book's called Bad Boys, and you check it out. It's actually a really good book aimed at women who have men in their relationships who have either anxious type or avoidant type. But it gives you some really good characteristics to start with to help looking at yourself if you find yourself in a relationship that continuously doesn't work. So now that we've covered the basics, let's talk about how you can use this knowledge to improve your relationships. Recognizing your own attachment style and that of your partner can be a game changer. And here's how. So I've given you a bit of some tidbits, some little bite-sized pieces of how to identify. So you need the structure to recognize the pattern, right? So the self-awareness piece here is start by identifying your attachment style through self-reflection or quizzes. There's some really good quizzes that you can do online. Google it now, pause the video and come back, find the quiz, and you can come back to this video. And they can really help you communicate your needs effectively. The empathy. So when you can understand your partner's attachment style, you can empathize with their emotional needs and triggers, leading to more compassionate and constructive conversations. Communication. Now, a lot of communication is just listening, but if you're a partner that struggles to be heard, then this requires a different skill set, which I can actually help you with. So, learn to express your feelings and needs clearly while also being a good listener. Healthy communication is key to resolving conflicts and building trust. So, the examples here, here's something to try on. And if you've listened this far, keep on listening because there's more great content coming in this video. So imagine your friend constantly seeks reassurance in their relationship, fearing abandonment. They might have an anxious, preoccupied attachment style. So on the flip side, if someone you know prefers to keep their emotional distance, avoiding deep connections, they might have a dismissive, avoidant attachment style. And if you notice someone who swings between intense closeness and pushing people away, they could have a fearful, avoidant attachment style. So, exercises that you could do to recognize attachment types in yourself and others. So, try these. Now, journaling is something that is often prescribed to people and can be overestimated and underestimated. So, taking the time and energy to create a journal really boils down to your commitment to your own inner work. And reflecting on a journal is just as important as writing in it. So, if you're someone who has hundreds of journals or tens of journals and doesn't go back and reflect and review about how they can invest in themselves or their life, then you're just note taking, you're just narrating your life. So, if you write in a journal and you can spot the patterns, then get help. Role play. So you can experiment with different communication styles with a friend to see how you react and feel. For example, if you think that you're an avoidant attachment style, can you constructively ask for space? If you are an anxious avoidant style, can you constructively ask for reassurance? And if you are a secure, could you ask somebody else outside of you for some feedback as to where you think you're not perfect in life, right? Now, professional help always is an option, and not all therapists understand attachment styles, and some therapists get attached, anxiously attached to attachment styles. For me, I swing in the middle somewhere, so I can help you, first of all, identify your attachment style and work out what's actually really going on in your body, because there's criticisms of attachment style, how it just categorizes people into four categories, and then all but three, so all but one is the acceptable one. So if you learn about your attachment style and you're not a secure, then people can hold them being secure as that they're better than you, and that they don't need to do any work on themselves because they're the secure one. I assure you that even secure people need to invest in themselves to gain a deeper understanding of their emotional intelligence and other maladaptive relationship strategies. They might be secure in a relationship, but how are they secure in their job? They might be avoidant in their job. They might be anxiously attached to their job. What is their relationship with money? Are they secure with money, or are they anxiously attached to money? So the attachment styles, while they were designed around human relationships, I see them that they can transverse all relationships. So professional help can help. But remember, these attachment styles are not set in stone. So with self-awareness and effort, you can shift towards a more secure attachment style, leading to healthier and exhilarating relationships. So the conclusion here is there you have it. There's a crash course on attachment types, their pros and cons, and how to use this knowledge to enhance your relationships. Now, understand that these patterns can be a powerful tool on your journey to healthier connections with others. And also, if you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up or subscribe for more content on this kind of personal development and relationship advice. And now, this is a very high level type technique and modality. And with attachment styles, there's so much more that's available in working with relationships. For example, the characterology and character analysis that I do, you can see what typical defenses are that someone has that shows up in their body. For example, if you're someone who reads a lot of books and thinks by reading a lot of books or watching a lot of YouTube videos, you're going to actually get the breakthrough that you want, while you might get 5/10 of a breakthrough, you really need somebody else in your ear guiding you into yourself around your feelings, what's happened in your past. And while you might be secure in some areas of your life, like I spoke about before, if you're insecure with money or anxiously attached to money, most mainstream therapists won't know how to approach that, right? So by being able to be flexible and versatile in a modality, a therapist can really bring great transformation in your life, not just in your relationships, but all aspects. So I assert that if you're watching this video, you either have a run of relationships that haven't worked, or you've heard about attachment types or attachment styles on social media, or a friend's mentioned it, and they get really attached to what's your attachment style? What's your attachment style? Now, there's so much more. Like I mentioned, this is an entry level into understanding yourself in relation. And if you want to go deeper, if you want to have a conversation about unpacking and auditing your relationships, maybe uncovering something that attachment theory doesn't speak to. For example, the inventor or the mainstream invigorator of attachment styles didn't disagree with Freud's work around sexuality and primal desires. So there's something else that is missing in attachment theory, which might be logically sound, but it's missing a really potent character. So in that, I've found people in my practice that will try and stay together and use the attachment styles as a glue to try and make it work, right? You move beyond compassion and empathy into compromise, and sometimes relationships just don't work. And you've got to be able to draw a line and say, hey, my wants and needs aren't getting met, and that, thank you, goodbye. And while that can be hurtful to some people, sometimes it requires a bit of suffering in order for someone to get the help that's really going to get them the outcomes of their life that they want. So if you're someone who hasn't quite had enough suffering yet, then maybe attachment theory, attachment types is somewhere that you can have a look at, because suffering in all of this in relationships is a catalyst for transformation. And if you're learning about attachment styles to avoid suffering, then you're in for more suffering. Because if you can open your heart even more and share what's really going on for you in an emotional space where you feel safe and contained and allowed to be, then you will have a transformation that was beyond attachment styles, which is what my modality is called, beyond instinct. So if you're someone who's, I'm sidetracking here, but if you're someone who has an instinct injury, and check out my other socials about when I talk about instinct injury, where you get lost in your mind, no clarity, you get into relationships that don't work, you feel like they're working, then you compromise, and you don't understand the structures of the 3, 6, and 9 month period in relationships, then I can help you. And if you don't want help, that's okay. Maybe somebody else in your life would like some help in their relationship, so you can see them having an amazing, exhilarating relationship. And if you want that for the world, because I want that for the world, I want the entire world to be able to have exciting, exhilarating relationships and step out of exhaustion, and not just exhaustion in their relationship life, their work life as well. So if that speaks to you and you want to share in this vision, then share my work, like, comment, tell me what you heard for yourself. And if you watched all 15 minutes of this, I deeply appreciate you for your presence and devotion to what I do. Mad love. Bye.